Casey, we're going to stick with you for this next question. Ellen loved her show. She asked, we've got statements and accounts everywhere, old IRAs, CDs, a 401k from a job 15 years ago. It feels like it's a mess. What's the best way to simplify everything without losing track of what's invested where?
Yeah, the simple answer to this is create and maintain a financial plan. And really, building out that single step is what can turn all these accounts that are all over the place and maybe a little bit disjointed, turning it into one organized picture where you understand where every dollar is, and more importantly, how that dollar is working within your financial life in order to move you closer toward your financial goals. This is really something we run across not infrequently. And what we try to do is we try to utilize that financial plan really to act as that command center. So where everything is at, how it fits together, how these different accounts are interacting. You can even take it over to a greater degree. Where do you want that account to go to if something were to happen to you? Who's going to be in charge of it? And really that financial plan can open up these various different avenues in terms of understanding your money in the best way that you possibly can. There are other digital tools that are out there, or working with an advisor. I know of several that we have that are aggregation tools. Now, I will say in the world of multi-factor authentication, some of those break, not infrequently. But there are some digital tools that can kind of pair everything together to allow a single dashboard view, depending on the financial institutions that are out there. So really, this entire step of creating that financial plan is just reducing all the different noise. Doing that consolidation step as well, if it is appropriate to do so, can also eliminate a lot of that noise that is created by extra statements. Not having to maintain accounts in 15 different places can certainly make things a little bit easier as well.
Right.
And one thing that we always suggest as well, whether you're working with Premier Investment and Wealth Management, which we would love to have you do, or with some other inferior firm, having a single financial advisor that is really working on your behalf as much as possible. And we always think about, you wouldn't have two different accountants, you wouldn't have two different attorneys, really having that trusted contact, as we were talking about in the most recent question as well.
Right.
But having that centralized trusted contact in order to make sure that you have somebody who can assist you in all these different avenues and really keeping track of where everything is at.
How long do you keep documents?
Depends on the document. So tax returns, I would say keep those at least 7 years, but that's more of an audit item than it is anything else. Statements, keep the year-end one. Most statements have a year-end recap of what happened over the course of the year. You probably don't need to know what happened in April 2023. If you have maybe the December version of that, it should encapsulate the activity that happened in there as well. So it really depends on the type of statement and what it is that you're trying to record.
Premier Investments and Wealth Management at premieriwm.com, here with Dr. Casey Mushrush.
Just you, Doug.
Elias Randall and Jonas Everett. We're taking listener questions here. They're always willing to take your questions at premieriwm.com. You can also go there, click Get Started, answer a few questions. They'll provide for you free of charge a Premier Vision document. It's one page, and they'll sit down and go over it with you in a free, no obligation meeting. They'll do it in person where you are. You can come here. They'll do it over Zoom or Teams or whatever your preferred platform is. But the whole point of it is that they want to introduce you into what it's going to take for you to get to the retirement you would like to have. It's probably going to be easier than you think it is. So don't feel trepidation when you're thinking about getting ready for retirement. Let my friends at Premier Investments and Wealth Management work with you in order to help you ease into where you need to be. PremierIWM.com is the website, or you can call for your appointment, 800-383-6590. Premier Investments and Wealth Management named a 2025 Forbes Best in State Wealth Management Team.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments in Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific, individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. Forbes' Best in State Wealth Management Teams ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firm. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.